Takumi just wanted a break, but Barak insists that their group is strong enough for it. Sophia, always the protective one, says she'll look after him, and Barak still throws in that the training is going to make him even stronger. Stronger than that bitter Monday morning coffee, right? The dude's just gonna get hit over and over again. He'll have to get stronger, or he'll die during training, right? At the guild, Takumi registers the group's name, still a bit lost on what to pick, but Hans, as talkative as ever, mentions that the recent attack is tied to the bounty on his head. So yeah, our main guy is officially the target in this whole thing. He warns everyone about the danger, and they all promise to stay more alert. But just having security at the door isn't enough. So, he creates a magical barrier around the mansion that'll only let in those registered in his domain. Riva, excited for the challenge, offers to help. Sophia suggests they might need another attacker or a tank on the team, but they decide they don't need another man in the group. Yeah, just Takumi being the man there, right? Forget about it. Takumi starts thinking about where he might find someone like that. Sophia remembers Mulan, who has her group of slaves, but Takumi thinks it's safer to go with someone hired. But, as if it had hit him right in the heart, they say they're trustworthy even without a contract. Just like that internet broadband everyone promises you'll get and never delivers, right? At night, with the knights guarding the mansion, Takumi stays up working. The next day, Riva helps him with alchemy. Sophia offers to help too. He asks her to inscribe some magic circles on the metal shields. Meanwhile, Maple and Camellia have fun with a toy golem. Riva suggests that Takumi should have one too, but he admits that his mana control isn't quite there yet for that kind of thing. For now, he's happy with his collection of miniatures. But then, Takumi finally manages to create a magical barrier. Sophia is impressed, and he says that, with more practice, he could even make a control core for a golem. Sophia comments that this would be a huge help for the team. It would be the team's tank, you know? Basically, they'd be like an RPG study group. Now they just need the bard, the most important member of the team. Meanwhile, in Sidonia, the Emperor finds out the attack failed. Takumi's image is spreading. Elizabeth, smarter than most people, suggests leaving the kingdom alone for now and focusing on summoning the heroes. The Empire wants to know how that's going. The person in charge explains that they're still trying to decipher the magic circle in the ruins, which will probably take about 2 or 3 months to gather enough manpower to summon them. Plenty of time for that sly snake to make a move, right? Back in Bolton, Takumi tries to control a golem with a magic stone, but fails. Maple asks why he wants a golem so badly if he already has so many people helping him. He explains that he doesn't know where the next attack might come from, so a golem would be extra protection. Maple suggests he tames one, and Takumi likes the idea. Sophia says there are iron golems in the dungeons near Horus. Takumi's never been to a dungeon, but Sophia thinks it's about time. The only problem is they'll need a tank first, because they can't just rush in blindly without a plan and without someone to take the hits. The group heads to the ruins and runs into a 3-meter-tall golem. Sophia thinks they got lucky, but Takumi realizes that if they attack its core, it won't matter. The golem awakens, and Sophia wants to abort the mission, but our main guy believes it's not that hostile and decides to take a chance. Even though he's terrified, Takumi feels a connection and manages to tame the golem. The guy acts like it's no big deal, you know? He names the golem Titan. Pretty fitting, right? The thing is 3 meters tall. A Titan. Maple notices the golem wants to communicate, but needs a more versatile body. Sophia remembers that a golem that size will never fit in the city, but Takumi decides to store it in a private dimension. Surprisingly, the golem transforms into a smaller version of itself. It's a pocket golem, you know? Maple asks for help talking to the golem, and Takumi promises to try. With this team, it's easy to imagine things going wrong, right? Meanwhile, in Sidonia, Akane sees Yamato and Akira acting like kids in recess, teasing soldiers and flirting. Akane even tries to scold them, but they tell her to mind her own business. This is when we really notice how Takumi and the girls have a real bond, unlike those other heroes. With Titan by his side, Takumi realizes he's leveling up, man, and that all the mistakes he made might have just been the push he needed to build this future. We then cut to a flashback from a year ago, in an abandoned city near Bolton. The residents were being forced to leave because of the nobles. And in the middle of all this chaos, there's Manny, who lost her husband because he didn't get medical care in time. Heavy, right, man? Back in the present, Godwin finds out that over 1,000 people were kicked out of the village. Rockford even tried to help the refugees, but he just couldn't manage it. So, he asks Godwin for help to find a new home for everyone. And of course, the only place available is going to be crawling with monsters. Classic, right? Poor happiness never lasts long. Meanwhile, Takumi suggests that his group explore a slightly tougher dungeon. They pick the Beast King's Forest, the second toughest A-ranked dungeon. But when they get there, they're surprised by the sky and a huge underground forest. Yeah, I wouldn't expect to find a forest with a sky and a dungeon underground either, right? But hey, fantasy world, not my thing. They start moving quickly, with Mabel detecting enemies and Titan holding the line in the battles. They collect treasures and leave the defeated monsters behind. Everything's going smoothly, until Takumi falls into a trap. What a dumbass. A giant boulder starts rolling after them like Indiana Jones, and it's a full-on sprint to avoid being squashed into a pancake. At the end of the dungeon, Mabel senses something, and a Class S Earth Dragon shows up. Maria and Riva almost lose it when they see the dragon. Takumi comments that he should have brought Titan in his giant form. He tells Maria and Titan to hold the dragon's tail, but the beast responds by throwing them into the wall. Sophia, always quick on her feet, already spots the weak point. Takumi then decides to cast a lightning spell on his sword and shoots it straight into the dragon's mouth, and the big guy went down right away, man. To top it off, Camellia evolves into a dragon horse. Our main guy even finds a piece of the dragon and starts thinking about all the possibilities. The dude's a factory of ideas. On their way back, Gordon stops Takumi to develop land south of them, which no one cares about because it's infested with monsters. Of course, our prota loves a challenge and agrees right away. Sophia warns him about the risks, but Gordon says there's no other choice. Takumi listens to the refugees' story and commits to helping. In other words, Nolene's crew just picked up another mission. For some reason, they refuse the knight's escort and go straight to the location. Using earth magic, they build some walls around the city in just a few days. Takumi tells Sophia to notify Gordon to move the refugees there. The guy is shocked after all. Only 10 days have passed and everything's already ready. The refugees arrive thinking they're headed for a hole full of monsters, but they're surprised by the walls already standing. Takumi explains that everything was built to protect them and provide a home for everyone, including the nobles who were supposed to govern there. Gordon asks if it was done with magic, and Takumi confirms, saying there's still a lot more to do. The people love the new village, but Sophia notices that Monty looks down. When she talks to her, she finds out that she lost her husband and no longer trusts nobles, and that's why she's refusing Takumi's offer to work with him. He understands and respects her decision. Maria tries to convince her to stay, but Takumi gives her space. Then, thinking she couldn't stay there after turning down the offer, Monty walks off alone. She ends up getting lost in the forest. As she hears a roar, the tension starts rising. Maple warns Takumi about the danger, and everyone gets ready. Titan charges in and takes the monster down with a powerful blow. Takumi still tells Dorner to guide the village bridge, but Monte is on the outside. Surrounded by wolves, she's about to be attacked when Takumi shows up and saves the day. He ends up getting injured in the process, and she ends up taking care of him. Right then, she realizes he's different from the nobles she's known. I mean, nobles suck, man. None of them ever do anything to help. Monty then asks to work with him, accepting the offer he made, and of course, Takumi's all for it. The group welcomes her warmly, and the team keeps getting tighter. Meanwhile, Dorner goes to Godwin to deliver the good news about the village. But the news quickly reaches the Empire, and they're starting to get uncomfortable. They simply can't let Takumi do whatever he wants with Bolton's support. Elizabeth, with that look like she's about to stir some trouble, decides to act. Of course, she's up to something. Just look at that face of hers. The Empire starts a summoning ritual, causing a mana disturbance across the continent. Takumi quickly feels the shift, and that's when the heroes finally arrive. Heroes, in quotes, right? Mina's actually sensible, but those other two? No chance. A couple of spoiled brats. 3 months have passed, and Nolene is there, in the VIP seats, watching everything that's going down, not missing a single detail. She's impressed to learn that the Sidonia heroes have already reached rank A. Elizabeth, with that theatrical star vibe, says it's time to introduce the heroes to the rest of the world. Akira and Yamato are already acting like the saviors of the country, ready to shine. Akane, on the other hand, is still in I don't care mode, but also don't leave me out. She even pretends to be excited, says she just wants to be recognized, but we know she's got zero interest in any of this. Far away, in the village that Takumi helped build, everything's going great. Like a dream. The people learned how to make weapons with the blacksmiths of Bolton, and the village is thriving. Takumi watches everything, feeling happy, knowing he's making a difference. Meanwhile, Maple finds a weird-looking lizard and shows it to Sophia, who immediately raises the alarm. The monsters in the region are getting stronger over time, but she also realizes it's not something to panic about just yet. This is probably happening because of the mana released 3 months ago, the side effect of the heroes summoning. Dorn shows up and says Barak has a new mission for Takumi, and mentions that the Sidonia heroes have become the hot topic in Bolton. Takumi puts the pieces together and realizes that the mana burst 3 months ago was the trigger for their summoning. That same night, the group gathers to discuss it. Maria believes Nolene sent the heroes to save Sidonia, but Takumi, ever grounded, thinks the Empire used forbidden magic and hopes these guys don't mess things up. While the heroes prepare to leave the Empire, they run into Lulu, Akane's slave, who isn't really a slave, more like a friend, but whatever. They try to snub her, but Akane stands up for the girl firmly. Man, these two brats are seriously the worst, huh? At the Adventurers Guild, Hans comments on the hero's looks. Dark hair, dark eyes. Takumi starts getting suspicious, thinking they might be from the same world as him. Dude, come on, is that even a question? Then Popek shows up asking Takumi to escort him to the royal capital. Takumi accepts, because, well, he never turns down a good mission. Back home, Monty asks if she can come along. Takumi tries to stop her, but the girls manage to convince him. And then the surprise, Monty knows earth magic, which is another upgrade for the group. Meanwhile, Akane is already talking about buying elves in the capital. Man, this kid is hopeless, huh? Yamato only talks about levels. Akane thinks there's still some sense in him, and she decides to use this mission to try to fix the Empire's mistakes. At the guild, Takumi and Sophia get rank A, but before they can enjoy the achievement, the Sidonia heroes show up, acting all high and mighty. Akira even goes as far as to assault an adventurer, just because he was contradicted, and then Takumi shows up and kills their vibe. Akira tries to buy the girls from Takumi, but of course, he refuses. When the two try to fight, our main guy simply breaks Akira's sword and knocks Yamato down. And get this, he does it with ease. The result, a total silence, and Takumi doesn't even flinch. The dude's the boss, right? Forget about it. Akane, a bit embarrassed, apologizes for the behavior of her colleagues and asks Takumi's name. Just when it seems like something might happen, he cuts her off and says he's got his own plans. Straight to the point. Later, Takumi reveals to the group that the heroes are from the same world as him. The girls are shocked, but promise to keep it a secret. He explains that he was sent by Nolene and thinks the Empire is using the heroes to provoke a war. When Akane tells him she purified the food and suspects the Empire is drugging the heroes, Takumi starts to understand a bit more about all the manipulation going on. She begs for help, saying she doesn't want to go back. Takumi uses magic to remove Lulu's slave collar. Akane promises she'll never abandon her, and Monty decides to stay with the group as well. The family keeps growing, huh? When Kiri and Mato find out that Akane and Lulu left, they get furious and want to return to Sidonia. Man, this is about to get real ugly. Meanwhile, Takumi and the crew head back to the mansion, and Maria makes a delicious stew for Akane and Lulu. Akane even starts crying because of the taste. It's been so long since she's had anything like that. But the calm doesn't last long. One of the guards warns that there's a monster rebellion going on, and it's no small deal. There's a flood of monsters coming, a horde. Takumi, knowing things are about to get serious, dissolves all contracts with the girls. They're shocked, but he explains that now they're a family, and they don't need any signed papers. Shortly after, an emergency notice from the guild arrives. All high-level adventurers need to gather urgently to defend the city. Takumi's group, along with 2 other groups, is called by the guild because they need to head out and defend the city. Everyone is briefed on the situation, and they head straight out. As soon as they get to the city, they're greeted by a horde of monsters surrounding the village. Total movie scene. They fight against the horde and manage to win, getting through the drawbridge. Once inside, they clean up the rest in style. It's the full service job, man. Takumi notices that the monsters aren't acting like wild beasts. They even have a strategy. He then deduces that there's a leader behind all of this. No one believes him right away, but he's already thinking about the next move on the chessboard. Meanwhile, the Empire sees the attack as a chance to shine. The Emperor wants to use the heroes to attack Barkula, but Elizabeth suggests going to Samandar first to cut off the reinforcements. Political games that never stop, right? Back in the village, Takumi hands out all the potions to the wounded. Reva and Sophia try to make him keep some for himself, but he's way too altruistic and refuses. Sophia then promises that she'll defend him with all her strength, even if it means sacrificing her own life. And then, bam, another monster attack. A new horde. The group decides to take them on outside the walls. The mages cast spells, and the warriors go in with their fists, man. Sophia summons a tornado to push the enemies back, but Takumi notices that the monster's retreat isn't exactly normal. Then, out of the horde, the big boss appears. A 2-headed dragon. The dragon immediately attacks Sophia, but Takumi manages to save her, and he quickly realizes he's dealing with the leader of the whole thing. Throughout the fight, Sophia tries to sacrifice herself to save Takumi. Not wanting him to fight the dragon, she tries to handle it all on her own. Takumi steps in and says, "Man, that's not how this works. I'm here, and I'm here to fight by your side, you know?" And that's when they decide to fight together against the beast. During the fight, the dragon nearly crushes Sophia, but she manages to throw her sword to Takumi. He uses Tsukuyomi with all his mana and slices the dragon in half. Man, that scene is straight up season finale material. After Sophia is healed, Takumi gives her that concerned lecture. She's a little emotionally broken and says she just wanted to protect him, but he makes it clear that he doesn't want any heroes who sacrifice themselves for him. What he really wants is to live with her, not without her. Damn, the dude's got game. Later, Takumi passes out from exhaustion and wakes up to being praised by Marilda, the leader of Crimson Rose. Yeah, the guy's just radiating aura, man. His fame is only growing. Meanwhile, Akira and Yamato are messing everything up, man. They attack and massacre the village, still thinking they're on the right path. These two are real heroes, huh? Without Akane, their moral compass went completely off. Back at the mansion, Takumi apologizes to Sophia for yelling at her. She says she'd die for him, and he responds that what he really wants is to live by her side. Yeah, the guy's shooting his shot, man, full-on striker mode. Days later, the news arrives. Akane and Lulu can stay at the mansion, but with them comes another bombshell. The Sidonia heroes have ended up massacring the villages in Samandar. Akane apologizes, man, and says she'll face them to stop more tragedies from happening. To wrap it up, Takumi talks to Nolene and asks why he was summoned before the others. She answers with that mystical look, like she's reading tarot cards in her spare time. The fate is in his hands. Basically no real answer, right? And just to keep the vibe going, our Takumi leaves some sweets there as offerings. In the end, Nolene is watching everything from above, and she knows that Takumi has a really complicated road ahead, but maybe, just maybe, he'll become the greatest alchemist of all time. Oh, what's up, my friend? Everything good? If you liked this video, show some love by hitting the like button. Subscribe because there's more good stuff coming, and you won't want to miss a thing. And make sure to check out this video I'm leaving for you. I'm out for now, and I'll see you in the next anime.